Hello everyone, this is teacher Susie and welcome to my class. In this video, we are going to discuss about multiplication of radical expressions. From my previous video, we have already discussed how to add and subtract radical expressions, and we have discussed in there that we can only add or subtract radical expressions that have the same index and radicands, or in other terms, similar or like radicals. Alright? But here in multiplication of radical expressions, it doesn't matter if the radicals are similar or not. We can multiply them actually, but we will just follow some process or procedures in doing them. So, in multiplying radical expressions with the same index, we will just apply the product rule, alright, for radicals. So, if you have remember, it states in there that the nth root of A times the nth root of B is equal to the nth root of A B, or nth root of A times B. Or in other words, we will just multiply the radicands. Alright? So, kokopyahin natin yung index, ano man yun, and then we will just multiply their index. So, this is applicable for those radicands that have the same indexes, even though magkaiba yung kanilang radicand. Okay, so let's have example. Let's say we have the square root of 2 times the square root of 3 times the square root of 6. So, pare-pareho yung kanilang index. So, it means to say that the final answer is also a square root. And then, we will just multiply the radicands. So, following the product rule for radicals, so we can write this as the square root of 2 times 3 times 6. And that will give us, so the square root of 2 times 3, that is 6, times 6, that is equal to 36. Square root of 36, simplify. Square root of 36 is equal to 6. So the answer for number 1 is 6. Okay, let's have another example. If we have in number 2 the square root of 80 times the square root of 18. So, following the product rule, you can actually proceed to the square root of the product of the radicands. Pero ang mahirap lang dito is masyadong malaki yung number, and sometimes if we do it just mentally, medyo mahirap hanapin yung mga factors niya. Okay? So, one of the easier way to do this is to simplify. Simplify muna natin yung bawat radicals. So, if you'll do that, so, simplify the square root of 80. We will think of the factors of 80, where one of them is a perfect square. And we will come up with 16 times 5. 16 times 5 is 80. 16 is a perfect square. Alright? And then times the square root of 18, the same with what we do with 80, ganon din sa 18. Think of the factors of 18, where one of them is a perfect square. And we'll be able to think of 9 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18, and 9 is a perfect square. Now, let us simplify. So, simplify this. The square root of 16 is 4. Lalabasan natin yan ng radical sign, and then maiiwan ng 5 sa loob. Times the square root of 9, that will give us 3. And then, lalabas na siya sa radical sign, may iwan ang 2. So, 3 square root of 2. Okay? So, the next procedure is, let's multiply the coefficients muna. So, we have 4 and 3. So, 4 times 3. Alright? So, if we'll write that like this, nakagroup sila together, okay, because i-multiply natin sila later on. And then, square root of the radicand sa unang radical, which is 5 times 2. Okay? So, minultiply yung mga coefficients, ito yan, and then multiply the radicals na nasa loob ng radical sign. Continue. So, we'll have 4 times 3, that will give us 12. Square root of 5 times 2 is 10. So, 12 square root of 10. Check muna natin, pwede pa ba nating i-simplify ang square root of 10? So, wala na tayong may isip na factors niya na ang isa ay perfect square. So, this will be our final answer. 12 square root of 10. Another, let's have number 3. If we have the cube root of 3x squared times the cube root of 9x to the 5th power. So, applying the product rule, so we're gonna have the cube root of, so pareho ng index, cube root. We have 3x squared multiplied to the index or to the radicand rather of the second radical. So that is 9x to the 5th power. Okay, continue. We're gonna have the cube root of, so 3 times 9, multiply na natin ito. 3 times 9 is 27. And then x squared times x to the 5th power. I hope that you still remember the law of exponents. So, since same ang ating base, which is x, we will just copy x and then we add the exponents. 2 plus 5, that will give us 7. Alright? Now, simplify. So, 27 is a perfect cube. Alright? So, the cube root of 27 is 3 because 3 times 3 times 3 will give us 27. So, now, with respect to the variable x raised to 7, kung napapansin, mas mataas yung exponent niya kaysa sa index. So, it means to say na merong mga makakalabas tayo na x. So, let us divide 7 divided by 3. That will give us 2. It means to say may lalabas na dalawang x. That is x squared. And then, may remainder na isa. It means to say may maiiwan na isang x. So, may maiiwan sa loob ng radical sign na isang x. So, now, this is our final answer. 3x squared cube root of x. So, that is how we multiply radical expressions with the same index but different radicands. Okay? Now, paano naman tayo mag-multiply if involved naman ang binomials? Okay? So, in multiplying binomials involving radicals, we may use distributive property, FOIL method, or special product. Alright? Let's have examples. Example number 4. If we have 4 square root of 2 times 2 square root of 6 plus the square root of 10. So, if you can see, meron tayo ditong nakagroup, nasa loob ng parentheses, the operation between them is addition. And then, itong mga terms or radicals inside the parentheses should be multiplied to 4 square root of 2. So, here, we can apply the distributive property. Di-distribute natin ng 4 square root of 2. Alright? So, i-distribute muna natin siya sa unang radical ng ating group. So, we're gonna have 4 square root of 2 times 2 square root of 6. So, multiply the coefficients. 4 times 2. That will give us 8. And then, square root of, multiply natin yung mga nasa loob or the radicands. 2 times 6. That will give us 12. Okay? So, 4 square root of 2 times 2 square root of 6. That gave us 8 square root of 12. Now, we're done multiplying 4 square root of 2 doon sa ating unang term. Okay, na nasa loob na parenthesis or binomial. Okay, now, let us multiply it doon naman sa pangalawa, to the second term, dito sa square root of 10. So, 4 square root of 2 times the square root of 10. So, multiply the coefficients 4 times. Wala tayong nakikitang coefficient dito. So, it means to say there is 1 outside. So 4 times 1, that will give us 1. So plus 1 because positive ang answer natin. Okay? Then, square root of 2 times 10. That will give us 20. Okay? Oh, this is 4, rather. So 4 times 1 is 4. 2 times 10 is 20. Alright. So ngayon, ang nakikita na lang natin na operation is addition. So we will apply the rule in adding radical expressions. So we cannot combine this because even though pareho ang kanilang index, magkaiba naman yung radicand. But we can simplify them. Okay? Simplify muna natin. So 8 square root of 12. If we'll think of the factors of 12 where one of them is a perfect square, we'll be able to think of 4 times 3. And then plus 4 square root of the factors of 20 are 4 times 5. Okay? Now, we're gonna have 8. And then the square root of 4 is 2. Lalabas na siya. So, i-multiply natin siya sa 8. Square root of 3. Alright? Plus, kopyahin ng 4. The square root of 4 is 2. Lalabas na rin yun. So, i-multiply natin siya doon sa nasa labas na, which is 4. So, 4 times 2. Itong 2 galing sa square root ng 4. And then, naiwan ng 5. Alright? So, multiply 8 and 2. That will give us 16. And then, copy square root of 3. Plus 4 times 2. That will give us 8. Square root of 5 copy. Okay? Since nandito na siya sa form na ito, let us check if pwede ba natin silang i-combine. But since here, magkaiba pa rin yung kanilang radicand, it means to say that this is the final answer now. Hindi natin sila pwedeng i-combine. So the answer is this, 16 square root of 3 plus 8 square root of 5. Alright? Let's have binomial times binomial. So, itong unang example natin, this is monomial and then this is binomial. What if we have 3 plus square root of 5? They are grouped together. We have two terms inside parentheses. So, a binomial times 1 minus the square root of 2. So, here we can apply distributive property, the same sa example number 4 natin, distribute natin, or we can have the FOIL method. Okay? So, let's use distributive property ulit. So, distribute muna natin ng 3. So, 3 times the first term. So, 3 times 1 is 3. And then 3 times the second term, which is negative square root of 2. So, that is 3 times negative 1. May 1 dito. That will give us negative 3. And then, just copy square root of 2. Next, ang square root of 5 naman. Square root of 5 times 1. So, that is equal to the square root of 5. Square root of 5 times the square root of negative 2. So, this is negative. Square root of 5 times 2 will give us 10. Alright? So, let us check which among these 4 can we combine. May similar terms ba? So, this is a constant. Wala tayong nakikitang radical. Here naman, radicand is 2. Here is 5. And here is 10. So, they are all different. Means to say that we cannot combine anything from here. So, this is the final answer now. Okay? Wala tayong makombine. So, that will be the final answer. Alright? So, another example, number 3. We have the square root of 3 plus the square root of 2 squared. So, if you can see, this is a square of a binomial. So, let's apply the special product. I hope that you still remember it. Okay? Pero kung hindi na naaalala, you can expand this. It means na you have to multiply square root of 3 plus the square root of 2 by itself 2 beses. Okay? You do the FOIL method or the distributive property, the same with what we did with number 2. Okay? So for this, I'm going to show the procedure using the special product. Okay, so this is a square of a binomial. So what we need to do is we need to square the first term. The first term is square root of 3. Square natin yan. Sige, isulat natin dito. Square root of 3, sabi i-square daw. Square the first term. And then for the middle term, we have to multiply this 2 and then times 2. Multiply natin itong dalawa na to, then times 2. So, ipakita natin. Sige, 2 times itong dalawa. So, just multiply the radicands. 3 times 2. Alright? And then, for the third term, square the second term. So, square ng square root of 2. So, that's square root of 2 squared. The same. Itong dalawa, the same ang ginawa natin, in-square natin. Sila yung mga outer terms natin, first term and the third term. And for the middle term, minultiply itong dalawa na to, that's 3 times 2, and then times 2. Kaya may 2 sa labas. Alright? Simplify. So, we have here, cancel this out na. So, makakalabas na ang 3. Because if we know the square root of 3 squared is 9, and then the square root of 9 is 3. Or yun na mas madaling paraan. Just cancel out the radical sign and the exponent 2. So, we're gonna have 3. And then, plus 2 square root of 3 times 2. That will give us 6. And then, plus the same with what we did here. Just cancel out the radical sign and the exponent 2. That is 2. Combine like terms. So, we have here 2 constants. We can combine them. So, 3 plus 2, that will give us 5. And then, ito, copy lang. Just copy 2 square root of 6. So, this is our final answer. 5 plus 2 square root of 6. Oh, by the way, nagkamali ko numbering. This is 4, number 5 na dapat, and then this is number 6. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Now, let's proceed to another example. Let's have example number 7. Number 7. What if we have this kind of example? Square root of 2 times the square root or the cube root of 3. So, magkaiba ang kanilang indexes. So, what are we going to do? So, remember, we cannot proceed to product rule here because the indexes are different. So, our main goal here is to make the indexes the same. So, how can we do that? So, we need to do here is to write them in a form na ang exponent nila ay fraction. So, if we're gonna write the square root of 2 that way, this will be written as 2 raised to, exponent ng 2 sa loob is 1. That will be the numerator of the fractional exponent over the index, which is 2. So, 2 raised to 1 half. So, the square root of 2 is the same with 2 raised to 1 half times cube root of 3. So, the radicand is 3. That will be the base. And then, the fraction exponent, the numerator will be the exponent of 3 here. Wala tayong nakikita. It means there is 1. That will be the numerator over the index, which is 3. Now, so what we need to do, dapat maging similar fractions yung exponents natin. So, if we'll work on that, so let's have this. So, kopyahin natin itong 2 times 3. So, the denominators of our exponents are 2 and 3. Let's get their LCD. That is 6. So, it means to say the denominator, the new denominator now is 6. So, what will be the numerator? So, new denominator divided by the old. 6 divided by 2 is 3 times the numerator. 3 times 1 is 3. So, 3 raised to 6. If we'll simplify 3 over 6, rather. If we will simplify this, this is equal to 1 half pa rin. And then, 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 over 6. Pag simplify, this is the same with 1/3. Alright? Ngayon, pareho na yung denominator ng ating fraction exponents. Okay? So, we can write this na into radical form. So, that will become, ang denominator ay ang ating indexes. Okay? Means to say that is 6th root. Since the denominator of the fraction is 6. 6th root of 2 The base will be the radicand, and the numerator will be the exponent, 2 raised to 3. Times, again, 6th root din siya, 6th root of 3 raised to exponent, which is 2. Okay, simplify ang 2 cubed and 3 squared. So, we're gonna have 6th root of 2 cubed is 8 times 6th root of 3 squared is 9. Now, let us now apply, since pareho na yung ating mga index, let's now apply the product rule. So, this is equal to 6th root of 8 times 9. And that is 6th root of 72. So, hindi na natin masisimplify because we cannot think of factors of 72. Okay, na ang root ay, or a number na pwedeng mamultiply sa sarili ng 6 times. Nalalabas ay 72. So, this will be our final answer. 6th root of 72. Okay? Another example. Example number 8. If we have, let's say, the 4th root of 2 times the cube root of 2. So, magkaiba na naman yung kanilang indexes. Alright, so the same sa ginawa natin with number 7, ganun din ang gagawin sa number 8. So, let us write these in fraction form, ang kanilang exponent. So, the radicand, which is 2, raised to, the exponent is 1, so that will be the numerator, and then the index is the denominator. So, 2 raised to 1/4 times 2, the radicand here, raised to, the numerator is 1 ulit, over the index, which is 3. So, we have 1/4 and 1/3. Let's make them similar fractions. So, we're gonna have, so, kopyahin ko itong dalawa. So, over the LCD is 12. Alright? So, 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. So, 3 over 12. 3 over 12 is the same with 1/4. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 over 12. 4 over 12 is the same with 1/3. Now, they have the same denominator na or similar na yung fractions ng ating exponents, so we can write them as radical na. So, the index is 12 na. So, 12th root of 2 raised to the numerator, which is 3, times 12th root of 2 raised to the numerator, which is 4. Simplify. So, we're gonna have the 12th root of 2 cubed, which is 8, times 12th root of 2 raised to 4, that will give us 16. So, multiply 2 by itself 4 times, will give us 16. Now, let's apply the product rule. So, we're gonna have here 12th root of 8 times 16. 8 times 16 will give us 128. So, this is our final answer because we can no longer simplify this. So, the final answer is the 12th root of 128. So, that will be all for this lesson. So, see you again next time. The next video will be about division of rational expressions. So, see you on my next class. Goodbye.